In the dictionary, the word communications come from the Latin put in common. Over the years, the word changed its meaning into share something with someone. But what does that mean exactly? It's impossible for any living being not to communicate with the other. This is because communication necessarily implies a connection and so an exchange of various information between individuals. The communication's principal objective is to share. We have to share a message. But between what I think, what I want to tell, what I think what I tell, what you want to listen, what you think you understand, and what you really understand, there are nine possibilities that at the end we do not understand each other. For this reason, when we communicate, we have to take into account various elements in order to obtain an effective communication. The study of the psychologist Albert Mehrabian says that only 7% of what we tell is expressed by verbal language, 38% by paraverbal communication, and a well 55% is expressed by the nonverbal language. Communication is effective if the three levels are congruent. Do you know what is the best communication? Love communication. All over the world, human beings smile when they are happy. Smile is important for social interaction and health. It is one of the simplest human expressions to recognize. But today, the biggest problem is not laughing too much, but too little. But the power of a laugh is enormous. What looks like a simple gesture is actually a panacea for the whole body. Laughter is already known to release endorphins, the famous happiness hormones. It also helps in the prevention of cardiovascular diseases, it trains the brain, and it fights anxiety and depression. It seems impossible, but laughing is now considered the simplest and the most economical way for physical and mental well being. To be happy, you don't need to change life, but to laugh for 10 minutes every day, also in front of the problems. Learning to laugh is the key to everything. Today, the therapeutic properties of laughter are confirmed by science, and we talk about the laughter therapy. The scientific name is gelotology, from the Greek gelos and logos, meaning study of laughing. Gelotology is based on psychoneuroimmunology, a sector of medicine based on the relationship between emotions and the immune system. The goal of gelotology is to support pharmacological treatments by helping the patient to face the path of care with good humor, because this plays an important role for the successful treatments, particularly when we talk about serious diseases such as cancer. The first case of recovery with laughing therapy is in 1980 when science journalist Norma Cousins proposed limiting the pills and starting a cure with vitamin C and comedies. What seemed silly was causing salvation. He recovered with a year of laughter therapy, and since then scientific research began studying this power. In the late 1990s, gelotology began to be known thanks to Robin Williams and Patch Adams, a film that tells the story of Dr. Hunter Patch Adams, father of modern clown therapy. Today, clown therapy is used in the hospital where we want to cure patients and not the disease. Its roots can be found in all the people who in their life have had the task of making people laugh. Like the Dr. Patch Adams, that today is more than 70 years old and he travels in order to visit children in the hospital. He understood that he had a talent. He can help people who suffer by creating a relationship made of joy. He decided to transform his house in a clinic open to those who suffer. With a group of volunteers, in 10 years, he offers a lot of free treatments. According to Adams, the goal of the doctor is not to cure the disease, but to care for the sick. Some of the most important principles of his philosophy are happiness, embrace, and empathy. This is the presupposition to promote healthy living and alleviate pain, without putting aside the relationship between humor and medicine. Humor is fundamental, but it is also essential to link it to everyday life. Laugh is an action that only human beings and few other mammals are able to do, but it's not so complicated. Actually, is a completely spontaneous expression. It's not about making difficult mathematical calculation, but it's something very natural and distinctive. Laugh. This is one of the first abilities we develop when we are babies, but we use it less and less during the growth. It seems that we laugh about 300 times when we are children and just 20 when we are adults. Happiness must be promoted and introduced in all environments, especially in the environments where we suffer more. Today, clown therapy is getting more and more diffused because don't wait to be happy to smile, but smile to be happy. With my work, I wanted to make people think about the communication of laughter, on this extraordinary gift that each of us has, to the use that each can make by bringing more and more of it into our own lives, but above all, to that of others. Bringing a smile to the hospital means making even a single moment of recovery better. This thesis also want to reflect on the possibility that laughter offers us to live life at the maximum. It is up to us to choose and decide from the moment we wake up in the morning what mood we want to be in during the day. My intention was therefore to present laughter as a revolutionary tool to show how it is possible to become aware of ourselves, of our totality, and of how, even just wearing a red nose, it is possible to fight indifference, laughter, humor, self irony, the ability to see at the comic side of things. Here is the most precious art to cultivate.